Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to everybody. This is another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I'm Dave.
And I'm Jake, and we are joined today by Mark from the Goblin's Hut.
How's it going, everybody?
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Wonderful. Still living in the glow of Adepticon and getting settled back afterwards.
Fantastic. Yeah, I know you, just before the show you were saying that, so what is it, in 3 weeks? Something like that?
Oh, no. It feels like yesterday.
Yeah, really?
Maybe it's only 2 weeks. I can't tell. Time's all over quickly.
I saw their announcement, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the next one. Let's do it.
Yeah, I guess it has been. I guess it has been 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Must have been. But no, I think we're definitely, we'd maybe like to live there year round, but you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody comes along and turfs you out for loitering. But it was cool to have you here. I'm just going to say hi to everybody in the chat. Dave Hummel is here first. He is super excited. Fantastic. Hi, Scott. Hi, Louis. Matt Bowles is here. Dan Wood actually remembered that it was Tuesday and the show was on.
Nice.
Excellent.
Oh, sorry, Scott. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, there we go. How many weeks? 2 weeks. Lee is here. Hi, Lee. We did all have a good week. Pretty busy. It's been a pretty busy week for me. How about you guys?
I mean, busy, but not like busy doing fun stuff. More just like busy.
Busy. Yeah,
like just digging out of like tasks.
I was fired from a Canon about a month ago with the product development side of things, and I haven't landed yet. Hopefully in a month or two. We'll see.
Okay, nice. So this is an actual cannon, a literal cannon, or
a metaphorical cannon?
Metaphorical cannon. There is can't stop, won't stop until this gets to the shelf. So we'll see.
As you're like,
you just gotta stick the landing. You just gotta stick the landing. That's it.
This is the most focus I've had, I think, in quite a while.
Oh, fantastic. That's good. Very cool. Jez Hunt has joined us. Matt says, so far, fairly busy with the tasks of things. Nice. Oh, Scott played in a very real Malifaux tourney, Jake. What a very real game. It actually exists.
Cool. It's like Malifaux games are like seeing Bigfoot. Like, I believe that Scott thinks that he's played in a Malifaux game.
Right.
But like, I'm sure there's no photos, or if it is, it's blurry.
Blurry action shots.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Gonna gaslight him.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not real.
Lee says Mel wore me out at Salute. A long but a really good day. Yeah, you guys drove down. I think you drove down the day before. I'm sure driving home on the Saturday afternoon after the show would have been crazy. But no, it's definitely great to see all the photos from Salute that happened this past weekend, past Saturday in London. thousands and thousands of people having a fantastic time.
Yeah, one of these years we'll have to get over there for that. Like, Salute's one of those ones I've never done. I've heard about it for years, and
yep, I did it in 2011, 2018, and 2019.
Okay.
I was going to go again in 2020, but something happened.
Yep.
Make it, and then maybe I'll have to line up we'll have to line up the thing. Maybe 2025, 2026, something like that.
Maybe.
See how
one day.
Awesome. But no, it was great to see that that Mel was there, and thanks very much for taking him down, Lee. He said he was grinning from ear to ear after doing the signing at the Warlord Games booth, which was super cool. Josh says, all I heard was fired from a cannon. An interesting way to drop into the stream. Absolutely. Fantastic. Matt Bowles' son plays Malifaux. There you go.
Does he, though?
Scott got a trophy for best painted. I can believe that. I can totally believe
it. Painting contest. Like, Scott won a painting contest. Like,
yeah, definitely. Awesome.
Yeah, Josh, I wish. I would love for Dave and I to be live from Essen. That would be great.
Yeah. That's not going to happen. Not this year.
Yeah, probably not this year. Not this year. Who knows?
I've been living vicariously through Chronicle, who has been going to, like, I think 50 cons this year.
Okay. Yep.
We sell their brushes and stuff, and I just get reports. He even went to South by Southwest, which was amazing, apparently. But one day I'll get to all the others.
Yeah. South by Southwest is that Austin?
I don't know.
I think it might be.
I think it's Austin. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go back there and get me some Rudy's barbecue. But nice. And Jess says, I met you there in 2019. The only time that he's been to Salute. We'll have to line it up so that you're there again when we make it over.
Yeah, we can do that.
Fantastic.
I feel like Salute is one of those shows that's like, it's overseas, but it's manageable. Like we have so many friends in that area that I feel like getting over there and like making that work. You know, so it's not just you and I fly in, do Salute, fly home. Like we could fly in and hang out with like, you know, Gaz and Mel and like all these folks that we know over there and like make a trip out of it would be really fun. Whereas like us going to Essen would be just like prohibitively expensive.
So I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
We get some great recommendations on the best diverse places in Essen.
I do love German cuisine and beer. So,
yeah, excellent. That's great. And Dan Wood says, yeah, South by Southwest is Austin. I only know that because that's where they built the mock-up town from the Fallout show.
Oh man, that would have been amazing to see.
Absolutely.
I have to start watching that. I'm trying to finish up the Bad Batch. And then once I only have like 6 episodes left, and then once I'm done, I'm going to watch Fallout. But everybody I've talked to said that it's great. So,
yep. Have you watched it yet, Mark?
Oh yeah. I powered through that. Some of the guys that that work for Legacy Effects that does all of the design, I sell to, or rather gift as much as possible, hoping to get to Legacy Effects. And I can't say for sure whether they use Dirty Down in that show, but I'm sure it's there somewhere.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's all the power armor suits.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a buddy of mine today, and he's got, and they've come out and talked about this, like, but I guess all of their Pip Boys actually like are semi-working models.
Oh man!
So they can actually have them function in the show, and then almost all the effects are like practical effects, which is the best. Like that, there's a reason why they always look so much better than digital effects. And then I want to see it just because. Like I'm a fan of the idea of Fallout, but I'm not like a huge like rabid fan. But I love Walter Goggins, and he plays the marshal with like no nose. Like I was like, I'm excited to see that. So
he does such a good job, and it's I'm a rabid fan, and it did it justice. So that's all that I needed was an attempt.
Nice.
I guess he was saying in an interview that it was the most terrifying makeup he's ever done. Because like they basically make it so he can't breathe out of his nose for however long it takes. And then he said the first time they did it, he was nervous he was going to like breathe something in because they're working right here and he can't see what they're doing and he can't breathe through his nose. and he's like, it was terrifying. So I was like, that's kind of rad. But apparently, there's a couple shots when if you catch him at a slight angle, you can see it. Because I thought they just painted it green and then digitally removed his nose.
No, they physically removed his nose and then they stick it back in.
Yeah.
There was a time lapse on TikTok that they did all the makeup and then they painted like white dots all around the nose that protruded. But maybe that's why he had that sneer all the time, is he's breathing through his teeth or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just great. Like he's such a great actor. He's been in so many things, and I loved him in like Justified, and he's like the bad guy in like Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he's been in tons and tons and tons of stuff. But so he's a great actor. I was excited to see him in it.
So as regular viewers will know, I do not play video games at all. I would much rather be spending my time painting, but I had a lot of models to assemble this weekend.
Were they Fallout models?
No, they weren't. They were Shatterpoint models. But I did, however, and I don't know if you put together the Shatterpoint models. They're a lot. Yeah, it's just over your shoulder there. Awesome.
Fallout helmet. Yeah.
All right. Cool. But the Shatterpoint models are as fiddly, with possibly as many unnecessary pieces as Malifaux. So I was putting together probably, I was working fairly quickly, but it was like one model every 15 minutes. So that Shatterpoint set saw me through the first like 6 episodes of Fallout.
It's the best way to get a project done is zone out and watch something amazing, and they're always connected.
Clip, scrape, clip, scrape, clip, scrape. It was great. Yeah, I thought the show was excellent. I thought it was really good. It does make me want to play the game. Don't get me wrong. But I thought the show was good.
A buddy of mine at the shop was saying that they get it enough and they appreciate the IP enough that the fans are going to be happy with it, but also they don't take themselves so seriously, because he was like, there's a bunch of like really good humor in it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But to Dave, to your point about the Shatterpoint stuff, I think one of the biggest things that Games Workshop has always done a great job with is not only are their model kits outstanding quality, and again, I think the Shatterpoint models are great. I think the Marvel Crisis Protocol models are great, but it's the engineering team that actually cuts everything so it fits on a sprue. The guys that GW has are so many miles ahead of everybody else that like, I think one of the craziest models ever built was, I think it's the Captain Marvel from the first Crisis Protocol set.
Yeah.
So she's, Captain Marvel's floating like this, or she's floating like this. She has her hand out like she's like, shooting a blast or whatever. And she has her like hip scarf thing, and it's like flapped around, so it's almost touching her hand. And her hand is part of that piece of the sprue. And I was like, who cut this like this? Like, why would you do that? But
yeah, it's all good. Just quickly, Jez Hunt says everything I've worked on has a lot of Dirty Down used in it. So nice. Jez does a lot of props and costuming work in the UK TV and film industry.
Oh, amazing! We got to talk.
Yeah, definitely. I'll put you guys in touch after the show. But he said he's got a pretty awesome project, about 95% lined up, that he's been asked to do, and there's going to be a ton of breakdown on it. So I'm sure that was supposed to be Dirty Down on it, but yeah, but we
share word with the Americans, and I'll get it to you for free. That way, you don't have to worry about that.
But yeah, we'll put you guys in touch. I'm sure you and Jez have a great time chatting.
Nice,
fantastic. But actually, one of the things we haven't done, we've talked about Fallout, and we've talked about Shatterpoint minis, but Mark, we haven't properly introduced you.
Oops.
So
we got excited.
I get caught up in tangents. It's my bad.
You got excited. So yeah. So Mark, Goblin's Hut, what do you do? Why have we brought you on?
I am the North American distributor for Dirty Down and a number of other products. We bring in the tagline is difficult to find, difficult to source and keep in stock hobby products from around the world. But the first and a true love of mine as a hobbyist is the Dirty Down range. And so we distribute to at this point, hundreds of stores in North America, and we work with Dirty Down directly to develop products. And generally, it all started from spreading the word of something that I found amazing, and a very lucky moment for me, and it has since turned into this. So I'm very thankful for you guys having me on.
Awesome. We've got plenty of photos to check out coming up, and we can talk all about Mark's journey. Really, I'm, as everybody knows, I love the sort of the behind the scenes, the stories of why people do what they do or how they got to where they are, which is really why I wanted to have Mark on. Mark's local to me here in Baltimore. So super cool. We've hung out a bit at games and stuff. So
can I tell you, I remember the time when I first saw you, and I can't remember if I've told you this story or not, but I was playing 40K with like black primed models, and you walked in the game room at Games and Stuff, and it's like a hush went over every other guy playing 40K going, that's Dave Taylor. That's Dave Taylor. And we're like, I don't know who Dave Taylor is.
That did not
happen. You'll see. And like, you brought out this amazingly painted army.
It's Hobby Stepdad.
And I like slowly slid by your table, eyeballing the Horus Heresy stuff, not knowing what it was at the time or what the depths that I would delve into.
Nice. No, that's cool. We'll talk about your demons in a little bit, I think.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. We'll talk about those. That'll be cool. Fantastic. Checking through. Yes, Denwood says, I would rather put together 900 Star Wars Legion B1 battle droids than put together one more Captain Marvel. That's fair. Awesome. Dan also said he used the Dirty Down moss on his base for Grimbjorn as the bear, and then put the bear on the base and completely covers up all the good-looking moss. Oh, Dan.
Oh.
Dan. No. I'll do it the other way around next time. Anyway, let's jump in and get the show underway. Doing present. Share screen. One of these days I'll be able to do this all silently. But,
no, dude, why? I like that you like talk us through it.
Talk us through it. Yep, exactly. So the first fun thing is the Army Painter, who are our season sponsors. Thank you very much, Army Painter. They've announced their Fanatic Most Wanted paint set. So this is 22 paints from the War Paints Fanatic range that complement the paints that are in the Fanatic Mega set or the starter set. But a good one to keep an eye on. I think it's the 20th. So when's that? Is that this weekend, Jake?
Yeah, like I just got an update that my Fanatic rack shipped.
Okay.
So
cool.
we're supposed to get it. I think, yeah, because I think it's supposed to come out like this weekend. I think it's the 20th.
I think it's this weekend. Yeah, I think it's the 20th. So hopefully your local friendly local game store is getting the Fanatic rack. You'll be able to go in, pick and choose a couple of colors, take them home, test them out, find out that we've been telling the truth all along, and that hasn't been some sort of Sasquatch kind of thing, like Malifaux. But yeah, we're super excited that everybody will be finally able to get these and pick them up in a manner that best suits them. So it should be good.
Yeah, there's so many ways to get it now. So there's the complete set still. There's a couple of them kicking around. It's technically discontinued, but there's still a couple of them kicking around. There's the Mega Paint set, which is what, like 50 paints?
50 paints, yep.
Then there's this one's coming out. I think there's a new Fanatic starter coming out.
Yep.
And then there'll be one that's like all the washes, one that's all the metallics. Like they always do that. So
yeah. So that'll be all good. Next up is I told you I was going to tell you every week. Well, the Kickstarter we're coming out with the Kickstarter. So April 26th is when the Kickstarter is going to go live. So that's a week from Friday. Sam Lenz is authoring volume 11 So the second of the 3 that we've got coming out this time. We showed Roman Lapat last week. It's one of the cool models from Sam. Chatted to Sam end of last week, just for his trip to Denmark. As part of the Army Painter Factory team, he got to go over there, and they're filming some content and making some plans. It should be pretty cool. But Sam is going to focus. He's going to sort of split his book into past, present, and future, which I'm very excited to see how he turns future into or puts future into the book there. So
it's just a bunch of blank pages.
Oh, and then you get to
it's potential. It's not blank.
It's a gaming journal. It's his future projects. It's so he can write in the book later on all the stuff that he's working on.
Right, he's going to go around to everybody's place and
dude, that's genius. I'm just going to write 2/3 of a book.
Sellotape some photos in, some Polaroid pictures. It should be great. But no, very excited about that. So in the show notes below, there is a link to the notification page. So you can go and click on that and be notified when the Kickstarter goes live. Scott says, any chance of getting any of the 3 authors on? Past authors would be cool too. We are going to have Sam on in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks. 2 weeks is going to be, Sam will be on, which will be super cool. You get to ask him that question. How are you going to do future? Yep. Sound good. Awesome. Next up.
Skipping forward.
I think we're ready to talk hobby.
All right.
So, Mark.
Well, that one's mine. So do I jump in?
Yeah, you jump in here. What have you been up to hobby-wise?
I do really well with deadlines. And Adepticon was a hard deadline to get a whole bunch of display work and commission work for others that are from others and manage a few projects. And what's pictured there is the Mando suit, or at least a few armor plates that I was able to source from a bunch of great guys across Instagram. I think that whole suit comes from about 4 different people, but this was sort of my exercise in. So some of them are cast, some of them are 3D print. The gauntlet actually has a mechanism inside that all the hornets stick out or eject out. But this was my exercise in really getting to know the Dirty Down spray range and the capability that can do, and also Chrome, which is oddly, I didn't enter that world, but it's extremely expensive. And so that suit is actually, do I have the wrong side? Is actually the one over here.
Hang on a second. I'm just going to just take through a shot of for all of us.
Oh yeah. It's that one up there. I got a few other pieces laying around, but I'm a huge fan of taking bits and pieces of different hobbies and industries and bringing it to see how I can implement it in what I do. And so this was a huge learning experience for me. But it was a lot of fun. And I messed up so much Chrome, and I made a lot of cosplayers very angry. So I learned some lessons.
So you must be doing something right if you're making some cosplayers angry. Yeah.
It mostly had to do with how I didn't clear code anything. And so the Dirty Down went on just fine. I don't see what the big deal is. But any fingerprints on Chrome immediately takes down that shine. But I'm a big fan of the battle worn look overall.
Okay. Cool. That looks great. It's very cool. Just quickly, I noticed in the chat we have Jason Turner has joined us. Hi, Jason.
Trevor Allison.
One of his tasks today was getting those racks to operations to ship to them. Trevor has joined us. Trevor Allison's here. Hey, Mark, Dave, and Jake. Fantastic. And Matt Ball's a sentiment. Cool. That's mine. Can't see mine. But it looks like Matt is ordering a dice bag from Trevor.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Excellent. And Andy Chesney's here. Had a chat with him last week as well.
What's up,
Very
Andy?
Cool. Super Dan Osborne is also in the chat. So
nice. He's
Who's
not
that?
real.
He's not real, no.
He's not real.
Exactly. But yeah, fantastic. Okay. Chris Kemming has joined us as well. Hi, Chris. Okay, Jake, what have you been up to hobby-wise?
I didn't get a ton done this week. I was able to move some stuff around. I went through some old stuff. I got myself a Green Knight.
Oh, nice.
When we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and it was before they announced they were going to re-release him, and I was like,
Yep.
man, I really like that model. I painted him up. I have no idea where he is, so I was talking to Ben about it, and he was like, oh, we'll put in the order. So I got a Green Knight. He just came in the other day, and then I did a little bit of work on my Death Company today. So hopefully I will have everything done for next Tuesday.
Yep. So yeah, next Tuesday is the final episode of the Halo 4 Warlords.
I've been scrambling all week. I'm like, what if we pushed our episode a week? And Dave's like, we can't do that. We have stuff scheduled. I was like, what if we swapped our episode with someone else? Like, give me another week.
What if we kept pushing it back until like December?
Yeah. Okay.
No. Deadlines, Jake. You do well with deadlines.
That's true. I usually do well with deadlines.
It's all good. I had to put together my next Storm Speeder, so I've got to get that painted for next week.
Nice.
Along with some what do you call it? Drop pods.
Cat just jumped on.
Nice. Yep. Cat's here. Gypsy Painter. Hello. And yes, Jake is the not real one. Jake is AI in disguise.
That's what AI would say.
That's also what AI would say.
Yeah, that's an autofill prompt if ever I've seen one.
Nice. Fantastic. Oh, hobby-wise, Josh also ran another paint and take last weekend. This weekend he's going up to Ralpath Legacy for something.
Nice.
Ooh.
Fantastic. And no, Jazz, I won't be painting another army because I'll be working on 6 different things. My attentions will be spread. I got up to, let me see, here we go. After last week, no, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks, when we spoke with Sean.
These are your sludge guys?
Sludge, yeah. So these are the Keth from Sludge. So lots of 3D printing. So I went along, I bought the PDFs, I bought all the STLs for the Keth, and I've been putting together an army slowly. So this is what the prints look like. Absolutely beautiful, very clean.
Really clean, yeah.
Yeah, really nice stuff.
I do like that they're all like hanging off their bases. Like all of them have their feet like hanging off.
All right, yep. Well, so these particular ones, every one of the ones in this shot will all be on individually on a 25 mil round. So I'll be able to glue them down and then a little bit of texture paste around the edges to sort of blend them in. But all of the line infantry are 3 models to a 40 mil base.
Okay.
So I've got that.
It's like the battle droids in Shatterpoint.
Yeah, Shatterpoint. Yep. Yeah, where you go, okay, there's just 2 bases, but there's 6 models. 6 models. Yeah. That was an episode and a half. But anyway. So I've been working on I painted up these ones. I've got the rest of my first unit of line infantry is up here, and I've got those. I know that it's a tiny picture, but
so they're 28 mil.
They are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're more they're 28 mil. They're sort of fairly heroic scale. Their hands are fairly large. The heads aren't too big, but the hands are fairly big. So I've kind of painted them as gloves there.
Nice.
But yeah, they are very very cool. Gaming wise, last Wednesday I played a game of A Song of Ice and Fire with my game every other Wednesday night gaming group. And then Saturday, my friend Thomas put on a 1/25th scale Gaslands game. That game stuff.
Okay.
So normal Gaslands typically played at 1/64th scale, or like Matchbox or Hot Wheels kind of scale. This was, the templates were 3 times the size of normal templates. And this particular one, we played a zombie bash, so you had to drive around and collect zombies as you ran over them. But it was a lot of fun. Definitely cool. I was playing with the main force patrol interceptor.
Nice.
Mad Max. And it's definitely good. My friend Thomas was running a Ripsaw vehicle, which you can kind of see on the table here.
That's like the mini tank thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've always wanted to see this in larger scale. When I first heard of Gaslands, I was be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed that I saw it was played with like Matchbox or smaller. And just to see it like this is actually pretty awesome.
See, yeah. I always like the idea that it's Matchbox because like you could just go to the toy store and buy a Matchbox car.
Definitely
then, like,
accessible.
You know, kit bash it. Like that's the whole idea, which I dig that. So
yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
I was just saying I like really large scale stuff is a trend with me.
Yeah.
And for better or for worse, easier to paint. I don't know, but
yep.
But it's something cool to see at that size.
One of the cool things is at 125th, 124th, 125th, you can pick up there are a lot of model kits that are available for like $20, $30, and a lot of die-cast cars as well that are in that sort of $30 range.
Yeah.
There are some that can go up to $120, but at the same time, like if you bought an Archeon at $170, $120 car.
Can you really put a price on hobby?
That's how I justify every purchase.
Yep,
yeah,
100%. And because you own a business, it's all a tax write-off. It is a business expense.
It's all research.
I'm like, honey, I have to buy this new Custodes army. It's a business expense. One of my favorite, I don't know if you guys remember this. There used to be a video game called Interstate 76, and it is literally an alternate 70s where during the Cold War, the American like Southwest gets nuked, and it's or there's like a nuclear accident. So there's like an irradiated zone in like the desert that is, you know, Utah and New Mexico and Arizona and California. But it has like a Mad Max vibe to it. But the soundtrack that they did is phenomenal. You can just Google it. Right? It's Interstate 76. It's all like funk and like it is incredible. The game was fun and the storyline is actually really good. But I mean, it's a PC game from, 25, 30 years ago. So the graphics are pretty rough. But the soundtrack still holds up. I still listen to it. It is great.
Brings to mind visions.
It's in line with like
Rash.
Cowboy Bebop. If you like the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack, you will absolutely dig Interstate 76.
I'll check that out. That sounds really cool.
Dave, so standard day in Arizona just with radiation. Yep.
Exactly.
Basically.
Brett Abbott has joined us. Hi, Brett. Chris Gawker has joined us. Jess says he's got a load of the Vendel era Beowulf minis from Medbury Miniatures, and they're gorgeous pieces of metal. Fantastic. He's working on those at the moment. Jess says Gaslands requires a lot of dirty down rust. You can certainly apply it, without doubt. Sean Gleason has joined us. He played against a 262 model Skaven army in Age of Sigmar.
Ouch.
Oh my God. I would have busted out the chest timer on that guy. I'd be like, if you take longer than 6 minutes to do your moving phase, we are done.
If you're above orc numbers, I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds super cool. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was up to hobby-wise. A whole bunch of stuff. I put together, so just quickly, I'm going to check. So I got to say, listening to audiobooks while I go walking. When I say audiobooks, I mean anything from Black Library, usually written by Dan Abnett or Aaron Nimsky-Bowden. Really impacts my thinking about what I should be working on.
Oh no!
So I just started listening again to Xenos, the first book in the Eisenhorn trilogy.
That whole series is so good.
Yeah. So now I also put together a whole bunch of Inquisitor bits and pieces.
It was the best thing for my my bank account when Black Library went to Audible. because I was paying that $50 an audiobook for
Wow.
Horse Heresy audiobooks back then. It was too much.
I just finished which one is it? I just finished, or I shouldn't say just, about a week and a half ago I finished Warhawk. So this is book 6. So the problem I'm running into now is I'm into the End of the Death. So next should be, oh no, sorry, what's after Warhawk? Sorry, Echoes of Eternity I just finished. Which is book 7. So finish that. It's fantastic. And now I'm into the End of the Death. The problem is that Ben, who Dave knows, my business partner Ben, he bought all these and he's been lending them to me so I can read them all. So he lent me all these. I think if you go back, I think we started these like a month and a half ago. I've read all the first 7 books in like less than 6 weeks.
Wow.
So the problem I'm running into though is he doesn't have End of the Death Part 1.
Oh, okay.
Because he had a hardcover and it was so in demand that like our buddy Ray Rappaport out in California was like, hey, I really need it. I haven't read that one. So Ben was like, well, as long as you don't care that I read it. And he was like, no. So Ben read it and then we sent it out to Ray.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I forgot about that. So he's like, I have End of the Death Volume 2 and Volume 3, but I don't have Volume 1. And I was like, well, I can't skip that one. Like I
you have to get Ray to send it back to you.
Yeah, so I've hit a wall until I can get End of the Death Part 1, and then I'll finish the last 3 of it. Man, it's so good. Echoes of Eternity is all like, I'm a huge Blood Angel fan, and it's all just sanguinious. It's just like slapping fools. That's like literally all he's doing. I love it.
Excellent. Scott says the World War Z audiobook is awesome. Lots of great talent reading it. Mark Hamill, Scorsese, Henry Rollins, Nathan Fillion, and much more. Wow, I did not realize they got that those folks in.
It's pretty good. I still think the best thing that GW has done is when they had Brian Blessed read the Gotrek book, because I was like, that's what Gotrek would sound like. Is he sounds like Brian Blessed?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Nice. My best audiobook comes from somebody named Dan Osborne. You might not know him, but it is Dungeon Crawler Carl, which it's like a post-apocalyptic craziness, but they do the audiobook styles like Black Library, where it's a whole play rather than
you're the second or third person to bring that up on our show.
Oh man, Dan got to everybody. I started out hating the voice, hating the characters. I'm like, why did you suggest this to me? And then it sucked me in for 6 books.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Awesome. That's super cool. Okay, that's our hobby. Thank you very much, everybody. Next up, we're going to launch into talking to Mark about Goblin's Hut and Dirty Down.
Oh, hi.
So, Mark sent me a whole bunch of photos. I put them in what I thought was an interesting narrative order. We'll see if I manage to sync up with the actual narrative.
All right, we'll see. Oh wow, oh man. The thing is that Dirty Down's been around since 1985, so roughly 40 years, and so to tell that story is well beyond me. Okay. But my story did start kind of sorta where that picture is, which is a Rust tutorial by Luke Mockridge on Instagram. But I think I'll go back further than that.
Okay, sure thing.
And I don't want to waste too much of your time. You can go back to, you could call it 2005, where I started a job in the event industry. Or you can follow the other thread, which is 2009, where before I was interested in Warhammer, a buddy of mine dragged me to the last games day in Baltimore. And both of those lead to the same place ultimately. But I've only been a part of the Dirty Down journey for 2.5 years. And I'll just start with 2009. So I thought Warhammer was a scam. I played video games and Magic cards, and my take on that was, you're going to tell me that I have to cut, file, assemble, and paint little miniatures to play a game, or I can double click on a computer and open Command and Conquer or StarCraft and just play that. And that game centric mentality you'll see as a theme here. But I thought it was ridiculous that you pay what you do for that, and it feels really silly to me that people go to at that time. It felt really silly to me that people would go to such great lengths to play a game that they could just use rocks or soup cans or soda bottles. I really love. There's that picture that goes around of guys in Iraq or Iran. Playing with literally that. I'm like, why don't people just do that? If you want to play the game, like, you don't have to do this. Like, why are you forcing yourself to go through this crucible? And who in their right mind would do that? And it turns out the answer to that question is me. I would do that, and I would spend way too much money doing that.
So what was the trigger? What got you over that reluctance?
It was just friends. It's just what we decided to do as a group, or I didn't decide to do, they decided to do. We played Magic for a really long time, and in order to get into Warhammer, I sold my Magic collection of games and stuff.
Okay.
And it was nowhere near enough money. But eventually the friends group roped me in, and the job that I had in 2005 going into college was one that it paid my way through college, but it did that by, you could work 40 hours in a weekend, and which meant that the ample opportunity for overtime if you really wanted it too. So I was a young, dumb, and new college kid with too much money on my hands, and Warhammer gladly took it from me. And that job actually took me all the way through 2020, through when COVID hit. I ended up not continuing the college trajectory. I graduated and all of that, but I didn't use that at all. I went, hey, it'd be really great if I just keep doing what I feel like I know I'm good at. And you can imagine, so that job was event production. It started out as just me and the owner. And you can imagine that 2020 did not treat that very well.
No.
So we went from full speed ahead. When I joined, it was just the owner and myself in 2005. And by the time 2020 hit, we were scraping that 50 employee ceiling. We were 49 employees, and 35 of which I oversaw. That came with a lot of pride for me, and we had to come up with a plan very, very, very quickly to we hired a guy in January of 2020, I remember, and I was like, he asked us, hey, are you guys worried at all about this COVID thing? My boss and I looked at each other, because I remember digging holes in his backyard for money when there was no work before. And I was like, no, we always take care of our people. We'll always find more work. We'll always figure something out to support the people that work for us, because that's how we ran a business. And then that happened. In March, I didn't want to eat those words, and we did everything we could using the resources that Maryland was really generous, provided a ton of resources for people to pivot to PPE production and distribution, or something to do to help in that time. And the operations department that I oversaw had to change really, really quickly, because all of those 35 guys, those were installers. Those were out of the building workers, and we had to come up with something for them to do to keep them employed. So I got a crash course in global logistics, import, export, distribution, online retail. I was very motivated because I had invested myself in this company as well, and felt like this was me. I needed to take care of these people. I eventually got that all set up to be just a few clicks, and the owner could keep the ball rolling. And I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to go home and spend the rest of the pandemic with my family. I've got you good. You just keep on doing these 5 things. And again, Marilyn's generosity meant that I could go home, be with my family, and enjoy life. And everything up to that point really caused a paradigm shift for me mentally. Everything afterwards, despite how horrible of an impact COVID was for so many people, I can safely say it was one of the best times of my life.
Okay.
I've since spoken to a bunch of other people that I've met through this hobby, and it turns out that myself and all these other people really saw that as a break from the everyday slog of just life in general, and the trap that we put our minds in of, we live in this little box, this is all there is to the world, this is safe and steady and everything. And instead, so many people got to experience what life is like when you're not just surviving or thinking of the next paycheck or the next thing, and focus on loved ones and hobbies and things that bring joy. This is all going somewhere, I promise.
Before the show, Mark said he had a couple of big stories. I'm letting him go with this. I'm trusting
it was like it was like a taste of what life was supposed to be like for a lot of people. And that's where the seed of Goblin Cell was planted, when the preparation of that crash course in logistics and the newfound focus on my hobby was made. And all I needed at that point was an opportunity. I needed to get lucky. And thanks to that guy whose picture you posted, Luke Mockridge, on Instagram, and an army project that my daughter lovingly calls my goblins, hence the Instagram name. Right. I did. Luke Mockridge was me getting lucky. So
folks who can't quite read the Instagram post there, it says, so Luke saying, I said I'd do a Rust tutorial. This is the first one I've attempted. There's a photo of the rusty base, and Mark says, this looks great. Thank you so much for sharing. Where do you get your model mates rust effect? I can't seem to find it online anywhere.
Oh wow, that post was made way back then too.
That's what we call foreshadowing, right?
Yeah, there you go. I didn't even realize that was on there when I sent the screenshot to you. I was just like, yeah, this is the picture. We're good to go. I just wanted to make sure his name was on there. Well, I got bored being at home, and I started an army project, and that army project was I shifted from the gaming side, the competitive 40K side, to Horus Heresy, who I mentioned you really took me in to, or first seeing it amongst you and then joining a slow grow league. I really got to learn what the hobby side and the narrative side and the joy of painting was like. And so being bored, I decided to tackle really 3 things: joining Instagram, painting my Demons of the Ruined Storm army with the challenge of using all third-party models for the 30K army. And I was really unhappy with the armor scheme there. And while searching for inspiration, I stumbled across that post. Right. And it's like 3 steps. It looks really simple. And after I talked with him, he said that, yeah, it is that simple. No, you just do it. And I didn't believe him. But my issue was, and you saw in that my comment there, is I couldn't find that paint. It didn't seem to exist. If you search for it now, you can find the remnants of it on the internet, but it's called Model Mates Rust Effect. And after many hours of searching, I finally came across Roman Lapat's Massive Voodoo article. He does a tutorial of the same paint, Model Mates Rust Effect.
Yep.
And buried deep in the comments of many people who said they couldn't find it, or Model Mates went out of business, there was one person that simply posted has been renamed Dirty Down. That's it. No explanation.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm closer. This is good. I'm closer. And so I searched for Dirty Down, and I didn't find anything because you can't get it here. It doesn't exist here, or it didn't exist here. Except there was a $60 eBay listing for it. I think it didn't say Dirty Down. It said Rust. Oh, it said some of the words there. Yeah, Rust, high matte, semi-permanent, smooth finish, water-soluble paint. And then at the time, Dirty Down had this tiny little logo that was in the upper left-hand corner, and like you would never see it. And it was $60, and I bought it, and it was so expensive because in order to get it shipped here legally from overseas, you need these. I've since learned you need these like set of IATA certifications, which is like international. It's hazmat. So
hazmat certification.
Yeah.
Cool.
So and I used it, and then I immediately went back and spent $200 more, thinking, okay, they went out of business once, like they could go out of business again. I need this. And shortly thereafter came introducing a product to a continent. And in
so when was that? 2022?
August in 2021.
Okay.
The first batch, like Goblin's Hut, wasn't a thing. I due to the hazmat rules, you pay the same amount for like a pallet as you do for just a box. And so the first shipment they were $30 a piece for that first shipment, and it was 90 pots, and it was just sold through my Instagram, and it sold out in a day. And then the next one was 900 pots, and it sold out in just pre-orders. And then the last one, or rather the next one, was 3,000 pots, and it sold out in a week. And I've been trying to keep up ever since.
I think it was another
yeah. That's my wife, who has given up on life for packing boxes before Goblin's Hut existed. And we were up that approach to work of caring about the people that I work with, of the people that I oversee, extended to these pre-orders, essentially, where I was like, okay, like I got the pre-orders, they have to go out the day that I get that 900 pot order. Everything has to be ready, everything has to be correct, and all the hazmat stuff has to be correct. My wife wasn't a fan of that, so but she's been incredibly supportive ever since.
No, that's awesome. I think this was another photo.
Oh yeah.
Stacks of boxes.
Yeah, I think there's one with my daughter in there somewhere. She was helping me at the time.
Right.
But yeah, it was just pure chaos. And since then, this all started from just wanting. Yeah, then Trevor, I think you're the only retailer in Alaska that sells it. Trevor, I actually discovered his dice bags first, and when his Etsy got hacked, unfortunately. And then Trevor brought it up to Alaska, which was awesome. I have that the inner me wants to turn every state. You know, the Sherwin-Williams Cover the World logo that they have. The inner me just wants to share this with everybody, and wants one in every state. But unfortunately, U.S. population isn't distributed that way. So
you have to slowly go through and paint each state as you get a new supplier.
Yes.
Well, we'll have to talk afterwards, because I definitely want to bring it into my store.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, it's the conventions are my favorite part. I love speaking with retailers because it fills this niche that doesn't exist, and no other. I'm very grateful that no other paint before and since it's come over here has done anything close to what Dirty Down does, and it makes. Previously, it's a level of painting that's only accessible or really an effect that you got to be really into, like scale modeling or oils or enamels or model trains to create. And this takes that and like screw the 4 hours, the 6 hours of work, the 48 hours cure time for your coats of varnish and all of that. You just slap this on and you've got it. You're good to go.
Well, like I think one of the best things about our industry, it's also one of the worst things too, because some people are not particularly good at it, is if you're good at one thing, be good at one thing. Like that's fine. So, and there's so many products that all of us use that are made by like some random company that we've never heard of, and it's like, oh, they only make this one thing, and you're like, well, how do they stay in business? You're because they're really good at this one thing. Like I know Matt Bowles a couple weeks ago ordered some microsol and microset from us, and people are always like, oh yeah, it's so hard to find. And I was like, yeah, I got tired of trying to hunt it down, so I contacted the company that makes it, and they're in California. It's they have a female owner, super nice. Talked to their head of sales on the phone. Was like, hey, I want to order from you wholesale, and they were like, oh, that's awesome. So they sent me a whole bunch of stuff. I filled it out, sent it back to them, and it's the same thing. It's like, what do you guys make? And they're like, we make the micro range. So they make microsol, microset. They make like a liquid mask. They make like 6 things, but that's it. That's all they do. And I'm like,
good. Yeah.
You guys are killing it. Like, this is great.
I'm laughing because that's how this Dirty Down thing happened. Except I called the owner of Dirty Down and I was like, hey, I would love to do wholesale with you. I'm more than happy to make the investment. I understand that this is difficult to get here. It's not available here. I would love to help break into the US market. And he goes, no. He goes, I'm sorry, it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. The only way this is going to happen is if you do everything. I said, okay. And then the conversation started from there. But I got 3 no's of just like, I've done this before. It's not going to happen. Like, you can't order enough to make it worth it. and it worked out in the end. But
what did he say after that 3,000 pot order?
Oh, I think he changed his mind. But truly, it's a huge pain in the butt to get it here. We had to cut through a ton of red tape, both in the hazmat side of things, the freight forwarding, and educating people about proper shipping methods for this stuff. There was a lot of steps between then and now, and we're learning that more. I'm learning that more and more now with the new product that we're putting out, which is
we'll come to that in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Some fun photos. We'll talk about that. So
Matt, Mark, question for you. Did you, when you initially started this with him, was it pre-Brexit?
I think we were
no.
When was it was right in the middle of it.
Like during it?
Yeah, which was a good time for exchange rates.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's just I can only imagine like obviously a lot of the companies that we all deal with and have friends in, they're all British, and
yeah,
every single person I talk to talks about like what an absolute nightmare it is to even still it is to deal with that. Yeah. I mean, to the back to your point about like the guy telling you no, it's because stuff doesn't work until it does. Like
everybody's seen that in the initial set to now. So I do quality control for North America, and there are some companies that had shifts in color to their paints, and no name and names, but kind of gaslit their customers about that shift in color. And my base at the time, and still is the grimdark community, and I knew that I could not get this wrong. And there was a time where unfortunately I had to send back 30,000 pots.
Wow.
And I was dying inside because like it wasn't the money, it was just the promise and the delivery, because that's one of the guarantees that I make to my retailers is that I will have it in my hands on the shelf for you to get whenever you want, because of every other import company that like, oh no, we have what we have, deal with it. And that was one time where I couldn't keep that promise, and it really hurt. But yeah, what we've also seen because of the Brexit and all of those issues was Dirty Down has had to change pots 3 times until we got to the latest iteration since in the past 2.5 years. So since I started working with them, and we've sort of tried to pick and choose the best one, but that's all direct impact of what you're talking about with Brexit.
Yeah. Excellent. On the screen at the moment, I've got a banner top. I think this was done by Maverick.
That's Custodes, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I've had the benefit because this started as a small venture. I've had the huge benefit of a rabid set of fans and community goers and advocates that have helped champion the Dirty Down line. And a huge shout out to Maverick Paint, or Mavericks Paint, sorry, on Instagram, because he and I connected really early on, and lots of Facebook groups and subreddits have rules about posting advertisements, and you can't say where to buy a product, but if somebody asks you, you can tell them where to buy the product. And so when we were trying to get word out, he and his gang of buddies that he conscripted would assist in. I'd post a picture, and then they would flood it with questions that I would then be able to answer in order to get bypass the rules.
Oh my goodness. Nice.
And it's people, yeah, yes, people like him, who have just been helpful and wonderful the entire time. And I'm also, blessed that he is a amazing painter and can do amazing things with it. So that's what you see there is the moss and rust on his dreadnought. He loves like taking stuff to the nitty gritty, and we're both huge fans of blood, guts, and gore, and that'll reemerge.
Yep, definitely. So yeah, beautiful stuff there. I wanted to throw this one in. Yeah,
oh, man. Thank you.
I don't know if you remember when I bought my first pot from Games and Stuff. I brought it home, and everyone has been like, "Oh, you got to shake it a lot, Dave. You got to like shake it, and then shake it some more, and then when you think you've shaken enough, shake it like for another couple of minutes." So I did all of that, shook it really hard, and when I painted it out, it came out like the stuff on the right.
Yep.
It was looking.
This is the challenge. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no worries. I was gonna say, yeah, it came out like stuff on the right, and it was like, I don't think this is how it's supposed to look.
Wait, Dave. This is one bottle of paint did all this?
Yeah.
This was one pot of paint did this.
This one I didn't provide this.
Yes, it's just washed on. Yeah.
Yep.
That's how we do.
there's no orange rust and then red rust or anything like that. It's just the one bottle.
Yeah, the whole thing is that the whole range of color comes from just that one wash.
Yeah.
This is that's actually so funny. 3 things. Can I jump in?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay, so the blessing of having this amazing product means that YouTubers, influencers, wherever, were ready to jump in and showcase it. But the curse is teaching people how to use a product that doesn't function like every other product that they use. And the question that you just asked, Jake, is this one pot of paint? That's what I love in person at AdeptCon and stuff, is that moment of like, wait, no, really? Wow. And
I meant more like, I thought Dave was saying that when he painted this, he painted the right side first, and that was the effect he got, and then realized, I didn't shake it enough, and then he got the left side effect. Like the left, I can tell that that's just one paint. That it's similar to like a pooling like shade or something. That's how you get the different tones. I thought he like didn't shake it enough, and that was one half. And then he shook it enough, and that was it. And I was like, wow, that's wild that you would get that different an effect based on how.
So effectively everything on the right is just medium. Where everything on the left is the variants and pigments that you'll get in there. Nice. Or is it real rust? Nobody knows, not even me. And Dirty Down settles more than any other paint that anyone has ever owned. But it, unlike those that settle and then that are there in a plastic chunk forever, it breaks up pretty quickly, about 30 seconds on a vortex mixer, or you have to scrape the bottom to free up the ball bearing, and then you can shake for about 2 minutes. But that's part of the support and guarantee that I offer my retailers and anybody who buys is, I don't care where you got your pot. I don't care who you bought it from. If you want to do a Discord call, if you have a customer that's having trouble Zoom, Discord, Instagram messages, whatever. I'll do support for the store and talk directly to the customer so they don't have to or deal with a return. And so getting people to a place of just like, okay, yeah, just need to mix it. That's it. That's 99.9% of the issues that anybody has, but it's different than every other paint that they own.
Jez just posted a helpful tip. He said he found that warming it definitely helps. Stick it in your pocket for a little bit and let your body warm it up.
I mean, that's true. Yeah. Also, to everybody is like the Adeptus Mechanicus. They waved incense, did a prayer to the machine god once, waved their arms around, and it works. And so they tell everybody to do exactly that. It is a flammable material, and it is flammable vapors. And there's a lot of rumors out there that you should use heat or a hair dryer to help this process. Heat only helps with mixing, unless you're out in the Alaskan wilderness. I'm not sure where Trevor lives, so
yeah. But no, what I was saying before, Jake, is that when I tried mine, they came out like it did on with just the medium. So I was like, what am I doing wrong? So I got in touch with Mark, and we had a call. We had a video call, and I said, "This is what I've been doing." So I kept like shaking while we were chatting, and he goes, "Okay, yeah, that should be good." So I tried it again, and I got the same result. And he goes, oh, "Okay, let's give it another 2 minutes." So I did another 2 minutes, and did it again, and he was like, "Okay, no." As you said, like 99.9% of the time, all that shaking would have been just fine. Every now and again, there's one bottle that just isn't working. So he sent me a fresh bottle.
It's rare. I think it's been out of all the pots we've sold. I don't even know that total count anymore. I used to. I think the normal manufacturer error rate is like 1 to 2%, and we are under 0.03%. So.
But it was one of those things where, because you were ready to get online, talk to me about it and tell me what I needed to do next.
Yeah.
So we're able to assess that was an issue, and you fix it up straight away, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. Fantastic customer service.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I get pain in my chest whenever somebody's like, "It's not working." I'm like, "Oh, I have to fix this for you." I need this to be correct.
I also like the insane like science magic that is like, it's water based. It's water based, but it's flammable.
Alcohol based, water soluble, very different things. This was a learning curve for me too. Water soluble means you can take water, remove and manipulate it. Alcohol based catches fire. So
gotcha.
I have been accused of some horrible things by having that paint bottle say water soluble on it. So
excellent.
But it is sorcery. I saw that comment by Jez. Made by actual sorcerers. I can endorse that.
Yeah, fantastic. Awesome. Cal says rust into gold. Who knew? Trevor said he loves teaching the classes. I love teaching the classes at Adepticon. The students love the field trip to your booth. Just use a paint shaker. I have one. I have a vortex mixer just right down here. But it anyway. What
are you doing with your vortex mixer down there, Dave?
Well, you've seen the rest of my desk.
Yeah,
right?
Okay, all right, I got you.
Yeah, but I don't. Can folks hear that? No. Okay, that's the other thing. I can have the vortex mixer going and nobody can hear it. But if it was up on the desk, it'd be vibrating the whole computer. Excellent. Josh says a well-known content creator accidentally put his dirty down in his shaving kit and then got on the plane.
You're good. You're safe. I was just commenting to reply to that. It's the same. You know, it's the craziest thing. It's because the cabin's pressure controlled.
Right.
So you can. It's the same classification as nail polish remover for walking it on a plane. And it's less than the 3 ounces that most regulations have. But you can't ship it on that plane for the same. I don't know.
Yep.
Nice. I don't know. You're good. You're safe.
Excellent.
Mark, if I carry it in my store, do you have the little racks and stuff?
We have a display that actually the artwork commission for the display is the only thing that's holding up that process. So yeah, so we have I can recommend a rack to you. It holds 36, I want to say, which is that's really like the average order size for starting out. But we're getting artwork done for actual Dirty Down branded displays with QR code and everything like that, linking to tutorials.
Cool. Yeah, we got to talk after the show. I'm definitely going to bring it in. We have such a huge paint community at my store, and we carry just about everything. So I definitely want to bring this in.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to hear that. I think your community is going to love it.
Excellent. So on screen at the moment, we've got a couple of photos of two different shows, your booth, and some cosplayers. So what do we got going on here?
Oh man. Oh no. Hopefully Dan's still in chat. Okay, so on the right, the Krieger that came to the booth was probably my funnest Adepticon moment. So he did not say a word. He only gestured to like madly to my chainsword that I chromed up in the back of the booth. It was like laying down on a table of just like, give me that. I want that. I'll carry that. And I asked him to come around for a picture. And I can't find him on social media. His name is on his badge. But I can't find him anywhere. And I would love to, I gave him, anybody who comes to the booth at a convention that's in cosplay will walk away with a free can of the Dirty Down sprays, mainly because I just want to support those communities, and this is how I can do that. On the left is at Gamma, which was 2 weeks before Adepticon, so that was a gauntlet.
Yep, I was at both.
Oh no, man. We were all the way in the back. And these guys were there with the Warhammer team, I want to say.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, yeah. And they were both a part of the 40K narrative. And if you guys have ever seen the 40K narrative at Nova, I would kill to walk away from the booth at Nova and go be a part of that event. It's so story driven and so deep in the role play stuff, and I could cheese over that for a while. But these guys were part of the grand narrative. If Dan Osborne's still in the chat, if you could name that guy on the right, I can't remember, but he was one of the warlords at the grand narrative.
That's Fred Reed.
Oh, okay, awesome.
I don't personally know Fred Reed, but
okay.
I've known Fred Reed's name. Way back in the day, on the back of a White Dwarf, there was a Howling Griffin's army. Fantastic quartered red and yellow, beautiful looking army. And when I say back in the day, I'm talking like mid 90s, and that was Fred Reed's army when he used to work for GW in the UK, but I think he lives in Florida now. But yeah, that's a spectacular.
Him and his wife make commission full cosplays like that. I think he said that one was like 13 grand or something, and that's like one of his smallest, least intricate ones. But we talked for like 30 minutes, and anybody who puts that sort of love into a project immediately has my full attention. I was melting over everything that he showed me. He has written in Latin all these different phrases. He knows them by heart and was reading it out to me. Oh man, I love it.
Yeah, definitely super passionate. That's awesome. That's very cool. That
makes my super tired con days.
Well, that's something. It's come up in the chat, but we haven't talked about it. Is the sprays? So obviously we've shown the rust, the verdigris, the moss paints, but the sprays.
Yeah, the sprays. While I brought them in quite a while ago, they weren't something that I felt confident putting out into the world without having a full understanding of them as a hobbyist. I couldn't endorse something that I didn't really feel I had a thorough knowledge of, or at least could talk somebody through at the very least. And so in the process of learning, like I mentioned with the work on The Mandalorian, I've been talking to a lot of the guys that contract for Legacy Effects, the guys who do The Mandalorian and the new Fallout show, visual effects and everything like that. The suits of armor, Power Armor, the T-60s and the new Fallout show were made by them. And I've been learning a lot very quickly.
So you're telling me you can make me a Space Marine suit, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I can actually at this point.
Yeah,
or at least I know someone who can do it.
We definitely need to talk.
Okay. Okay.
Hank just jumped on. Speaking of Adepticon, what's up, Hank?
Excellent. Hi, Hank.
At the very least, I can give you a list of at least like 10 names of somebody who could do it for less than I will.
Nice.
Yeah, and what was I saying?
You were talking about the guys. About the guys who built the suits at Fallout.
Yeah, so the sprays, for the miniature, we know that they have, if you're in Alien and the original Star Wars trilogy and Game of Thrones and Harry Potter and Pirates of the Caribbean, I could go on. Like, if it's good enough for Disney and those visual effects artists, it's good enough for, cosplay and prop making and the hobby side of things rather than the work side of things. But for Warhammer, how it's applicable is I really key people towards 4 sprays. 2 of them are for grime and 2 of them are for age. But what it allows you to do is, whether you're a retailer or a hobbyist, almost everybody has large amounts of terrain in their pile of shame, or need somebody to get done a whole bunch of stuff to throw on a play table very quickly. And the sprays, like the liquid effects, are water soluble. So you can put down a really vibrant base coat. My favorite, it's in the front of that right-hand picture, is a Seafoam Rust-Oleum 2X. And if you spray the mint brown or nicotine yellow, or their movie terms, or rust or black over top, it deposits this fine, gritty grime over the whole tile. And then you just take a paper towel with water and wipe it away. And it leaves, in order to do something to achieve the same effect, somebody would appreciate each individual tile of those ZM things every 2 inches, and then they'd airbrush over the whole thing, and then you'd wash the surfaces around the edges, and then you'd go in and do details and edge highlighting, and oh my god, that's a nightmare. And with this, it's literally, you prime it, you grime it, you wipe it away, and you have that same vibrant base coat, while leaving whatever texture behind that you want. So the mid brown and the black I really like for the grime surfaces, and the nicotine yellow and rust make something not just look dirty, but like it's been in the apocalypse, like it's old, like it's that space Hulk that's been floating through the warp for decades or centuries or millennia.
Hank, there you go. There's your insight on how to use those for spray team.
Okay.
When I was gonna say, sorry, we'll come back to that one in a minute. Last year when I worked on the 1/16 scale Space Hulk board or boarding actions sort of table for GW, I used the mid brown and the nicotine for spraying it, like getting some grime on those walls, and particularly the nicotine on the skulls. So I'd paint the skulls with an ivory color, and then once I hit them with that nicotine spray and then just buffed off the sort of the forehead, they look fantastic. That had that wonderful, wonderful age. It was, definitely cool.
Oh, nice. The one rule with, like, the rule for the liquid effects is shake. The one rule for the spray is it's got a proprietary nozzle that mists finer than anything else you will use. And you're going to be tempted to get in close. Stay 18 inches away or greater. The goal is for it to almost dry before it even hits the surface. And if you get in close, it's just going to stain and you'll be very upset.
Yeah, you get some pooling, some little spotting and that kind of thing. But if you're quick, you can get in there, pull it away. Yeah. But no, definitely cool things there. Jess says we used it on the Willow series, and one of the lads was making 40k terrain, sneaking into work and just ravaging it with the dirty down spray.
So cool. I really want to connect with you afterwards, Jez. I need to hear these stories.
That's awesome. Super cool. So next thing, going on to that next photo. So I'm not sure if Super Dan Osborne is still with us, but that's the Titan he did for the Nova Open Charitable Foundation last year.
Yeah, that's actually how he and I really connected. I ended up taking one of his classes there, but I think we had talked briefly on social media before, but but not as in depth. And when he was working on this project, we connected because he was also, who provided the decals for that one? I don't remember, but we found each other, and I was amazed at the project and his style that he developed along to create all of this texture and nastiness. And on that level, that's something special.
Absolutely.
And like I mentioned before, with Champions, of the products, of the just the sheer level of enthusiasm that you get from people, it's how I also connected with Ninjon. John and I have since connected a couple times, but he was an advocate for the stuff really early on, along with Black Magic Craft, Jeremy. And I was very grateful for the exposure, for the help as a small business, as just a dude, very, very early on. And to have these creators take up the torch and carry it forward like this and make something like that, is mind blowing.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. That war dog on the right is just insane. It's a super cool video as well.
Yeah. Yeah, his kit bash, that was one thing that I love too, is that Demon of the Runestorm army. Nothing is as the kit came. And I love piecing things together while still having a cohesive look overall, and he really achieved that with this as well.
Yeah, definitely. It looks awesome. Super cool. Couple of shots from Adepticon.
Yeah, this is we just finished packing up the booth and got a photo together. So on the right is my cousin Dan, who hauled out with me on the trailer ride from Maryland, and
awesome.
On the left, it's just some random guy a random guy showed up in the picture. I'm not sure what that's about. Jake, do you know who that is?
No idea.
Excellent. Now we're at the point of the show where we get to talk about the new product.
I'm so excited. This all started from a personal love for a hobby product, and that's where we've taken it from now, but it has developed a life of its own, and it's full crazy. The owner of Dirty Down and I talk pretty regularly to discuss, how things are going, what he's working on the film side, the new products and stuff that he could bring back from the original line of model mates, which was actually 10 paints. And we brought back the Yellow Rust. I'm not sure if we're going to bring back any of the other 6, but we'll see. But during one of those talks, he was mentioning that he was working on a film special, a film specific, in terms of the scale that it looked appropriate, water soluble blood effect. And I said, that sounds amazing. Like, I could definitely sell that, but wait, I have an idea first. Because all of my demons have in some form some goo heavy world eaters breathing. I see in chat. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm so excited. I said, that's really cool. I love blood effects, but could you do something else for me? I'm not. People familiar with Uhu glue, or UHU glue, as I thought it was called at first, will know that that's one way to produce these long, nasty, stringy strands that people use for saliva or paint over or dye with gore, to create in this very finicky, imprecise process this effect. It has. I'm a huge fan, and I'm proficient enough with that process where you can use super glue and PVA glue to create some really nasty, amazing textures. But all of these things have their significant drawbacks. Waiting until the dry time is just right, and then only being able to use it for a specific time before it turns colors or gets really brittle or something like that. And so I described to him what my dream gore product would be. I needed it usable right out of the pot, because that means the average person can just pick it up and use it like Dirty Down. It needs to create an effect that's realistic, like thin and thick strands, achievable from the same product. And it needs to have a long work time, at least 30 seconds, ideally up to a minute work time. where people can continuously change it and tweak it to be what they want before it's locked in.
Should I switch to the next picture?
I'm not sure what the next picture is, but we'll see. Sure, so let's go. yeah. So that's those are the product samples that I got, and those were done at or before Nova. So that was the first iteration that I got from him. You stick a file or a Q-tip or a toothpick in the pot. You can immediately attach it to a tooth or a protrusion, a hook, chain, whatever. Immediately string it to the next thing, stick it there, drag it off, and move to the next thing. Like this was no skill involved at all. First time using this product. I'm used to using Uhu glue and stuff like that, but this is just slap it on. And so after this process, I sent him the color that I wanted to match and asked him how long full production would be. Like I'm ready to go. I really wanted it for Adepticon, this past Adepticon. And he said, this was back in October. And he said, oh, no problem. 2 months tops. And I said, go. And that's when shit hit the fan. So I got exactly what I wanted in terms of a product. I got it the exact color that I wanted. He then ran it through his machines, and his guys
gunked up the machines.
His guys, when they took a tea break, came back and it had solidified in their machines. And then he told me that he wasn't going to do it. It was like the first time when I went to him. Just no. And so I said, please. And he said, okay, but you have to do everything, which is the exact same thing that the rust was.
Right.
But the difference between the rust and this was that the rust was a finished labeled product that I needed to get from A to B. And this is a 55-gallon drum that I needed to at the time source components like bottles, caps, labels, print. I needed to get the US STS and warning text because it is hazardous, just like the Dirty Down is. Graphic design for the labels, printing, filling, and it turns out that not that many people will touch or fill alcohol-based products in the United States. There's about 12 companies, and the top 4 are like Shell, BP, and they don't care about little old me with my 20,000, 30,000 unit run.
So is this you and your wife again with like turkey basters?
Well, funny that you say that.
Sorry, ex-wife.
Oh geez. Oh no.
She's like, I'm not doing that.
If anything pushed me to not do that, it was her, because we had 40. I promised it would be at Adepticon. I told people it would be there, and I committed to that. And so I got something called a peristaltic pump, which is like a hose that goes through this thing, and the machinery can't ever touch the liquid, because if it does, it hardens in the air, and then you're screwed. So it pushes the hose, it squeezes the hose, and it comes out. I got a crash course like I did in distribution. Now I got a crash course in product development and everything from A to Z. And because I told people it would be there, I had a sample 5-liter container, liter container, that I then did all the things, did all the hazmat things, and made 40 pots. Just 40 pots that we brought to Adepticon. I told people, as with Dirty Down Rust, I was like, hey, I'm going to be bringing it. It's just me. Advertise it just on my Instagram. Saying, this will be here. It's first come, first serve. I can only give each customer one per customer. Like, I want to give this to everyone. I want to have samples for all the influencers. I want to have samples for all my friends, but I have to sell this because I can only fill 6 pots an hour with that little tiny nasty pump. But I promised people it would be there. So it's not an industrial thing. It's a thing. I mean, it is what it is. Well, we sold out before we even opened. because people were running across the convention center to find me to buy it in cash before my point of sale was set up. So I was really grateful, as with Dirty Down, that people that are enthusiastic about the same things that I'm enthusiastic about will find me, and we can work together to really just it's not even working together. I like people that love the things that I love, and that's exactly what happened.
Awesome.
There were so many disappointed faces at Adepticon on Wednesday night, never mind Thursday, Friday, Saturday, of like, do you have it? Do you have it? I'd be like, no, I'm so sorry.
Excellent. So tell us about this guy.
I was reading I can tell this was a serious scientific process because you use the metric system, not measuring stuff like in freedoms. Yeah, I had to go back to my high school chemistry and figure out how to test viscosity, because the filler wouldn't even say yes or no without a proper Pascal viscosity measurement. So this guy was another commit. I promised he would be there. This was me working together with Gravenly Studios and Josh Harris. Oh, I really hope I got that last name right. I should have just pulled it up. That's not something I have in my notes. I've always had this idea of what my favorite demon miniature is. I think a lot of sculptures nowadays can get very, very busy. And I think that there's beauty. I think the space between helps emphasize all of those high impact things, like the mouth, the hands, the gross, wounds and armor plates. And if you fill that up with detail, it kind of loses something. And so this was my endeavor in collaboration with those two guys to create something that was truly like what I wanted in a demon miniature. So this is our Ursa Goth, and it was made also to specifically demo the gore product, which you see in that right picture. So that was, I guess you could call that hobby progress. That was the get it done as fast as possible because of the deadline. I owed people. I painted it up. I promised to get it in the case, and it's something I'm really proud of. We haven't released the STL yet, but I'll be selling this on the site at some point in the near future once I talk to the My Mini Factory guys. Or Only Models is their physical delivery service, I believe. So we'll have this STL and physical copies for sale after we do the it's like the Kickstarter version of that, where we say we get people commit beforehand before it gets on Telegram and stuff. So
okay. Yeah.
You'll be able to see more pictures of that coming up here. But I think it's the perfect platform for nasty, gory wounds, if you like that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's awesome. I think that's. Oh, yep. Okay, so that's the end of our slide presentation. But definitely. Oh, sir, clicking the wrong buttons. There we go. So, I think that's cool. The idea that it has all stemmed from your original work ethic, which is if you make a commitment, you stick with it. You say, I'm going to do this, or this will happen by this time, or whatever it happens to be.
I also like the flip side of that is the other barrel on that shotgun is you being like, hey, you know what would be cool? That's like your business started because you were like, hey, you know what would be cool?
It's that old worn out saying that luck is the intersection of preparation and opportunity, and that's exactly what happened. Is it would be cool to make these awesome minis? Hey, it would be cool if this armor was more rusty and nasty. Oh, what's this? Hey, it would be cool if we made a business out of this. I appreciate that. I'm going to use that in the future. I like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we next up, as I mentioned before, we wrap up the show with by going through the Build Paint Play community miniatures that have been posted this week. I do want to say that Mark's so the Goblin's Hut website is linked down below, and also Mark's Instagram is linked down below, so you can go and check out those things. Make sure you give him a follow. Take a look at all the cool, all the things that you go, you know, that's cool.
I like to thread the line between a professional distributor and hobbyist who just likes to put out silly meme videos. So see what happens.
Yeah. There's loads of cool stuff on there. So yeah, I definitely recommend that you go and check those things out. Trevor says, Mark, I need a sample vial to test out blood splatter for World Eater dice packs.
You won't believe this. I actually, so the PS is I actually kind of screwed myself by taking that stuff to Adepticon because the filler needs a large liter sample in order to guarantee that they can fill it. So that's the fence we're on right now. I have to wait till the product delivers in order to figure out who's putting it in bottles.
Right. Nice. Excellent. So I'm going to jump in now to our, there we go. So as you've seen in previous episodes, Mark, we have a wonderful wide variety of minis that our community posts up, and we get to go through each week and check them out. So first up, we've got this piece from Adam Weller. This is from Raging Heroes.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. The angles on this thing are amazing.
Yep, they're insane, aren't they?
Oh wow,
absolutely awesome. And Adam's really good at drawing focus or pushing focus to a particular area. And even though there's a lot of depth in all of that, the purple, it just pushes everything up to that chest and face.
Well, I was going to say the focus is his blue boots.
Well, I know you enjoy. I know you enjoy the boots, but yeah, definitely good. But beautiful work there, Adam. One thing that's kind of funny, I know that Adam posts on a number of different groups. I will say, if you do that, that's totally cool. We don't mind that at all. But I would suggest that you leave a little bit of time in between batches. Because this one was trapped in our it's like the spam filter of the Facebook group, and it was lucky that I spotted it today and was able to dig it out, because it's obviously not spam, but Facebook was saying it's being put to too many places at once. So but yeah, looks awesome, Adam. Thank you very much for sharing. Next up, Cal. I mentioned that Cal had posted some cool mushrooms last week. These are from I think these are from Otherworld.
I like the third one in who's all like, "Hey,
I was looking at the same one.
Just me and the mushroom guys hanging out.
Hey, come a bit closer." I think those are supposed to be mouths on the top there.
I love the texture on the stalks too. It's like just slightly disturbing, trypophobia style, I think that's called.
Yeah, it is. I'd go beyond slightly, but sure. Yeah, just definitely disturbing. But no, beautiful work there, Cal. They look great. Awesome. Chris painted up some Shadow Point. I can't remember the name of this box set. Do you remember it, Jake?
Is this Patience and something?
No, I'm not sure.
Hang on, I'll find it.
But they do look super cool. Again, awesome Jedi. And with the Shadow Point stuff that I'm going to be painting soon, I'm going to be taking a leaf out of Chris's book for the lightsabers.
It's lead by example.
Lead by example. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a Clo Plune on the left, and that's Ahsoka on the right.
Yeah. But yeah, looking great there, Chris. Beautiful work.
Those are cool.
And Chris mentioned it during the show that so he's working on his Flesh Eater Court army, and as you can see there, he's done some of the Uhu blue gore. he was like, "Yes, his flesh-eater court army looks like it needs it.
Looks
Definitely.
good.
Some of the gore, the Dirty Down gore would be awesome." Is it going to be sold under like the Dirty Down name, or is it Goblin?
Oh yeah, no, it'll still have the Dirty Down label on it. But in all official terms, it is Dirty Down in collaboration with Goblin Side.
Right. Cool. Excellent. But yeah, I think it'll be definitely fantastic for folks who are enjoying the Flesh Eater Court lists. Without a doubt.
Oh man.
I'll have to make sure I get it before I do my I'm adding some World Eaters to my Horus Heresy army.
All right.
And, they're definitely an army where I feel like less is more when it comes to like the gore. If you just cover them with stuff, you're just like, I don't want them to look like corn berserkers. They're not supposed to be red.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want them to look splattered.
That white and blue is such a great canvas for it.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. This one's Christy Lisak. Christy painted this up. This is one of the Space Marine Heroes sets. I think it's season 3. Sort of one of the blind buy boxes. But I love this guy, the Grenadier.
It was a great
I love how angry the Marine head is. Like he has that really severe eyebrow, and he looks pissed, and you see his teeth. And then the Nurgling's like, "Hey,
I've also taken these the pins out of these grenades. What do I do now? Explode! Boom!
Oh, I dropped it.
I'd be worried it ate it. But
so
no, nice work. I love that that green that you got going on there, Chrissy.
yeah, the green's great.
Really good. But yes, and as Matt Bowles says, Papa Nurgle approves.
Yep.
Nice. Clive has been painting up some more adventurers. I think it's a guy who's got a little
D&D
pistol
guys.
crossbow.
Yep.
Which is pretty neat. But
Nice.
Is that Pathfinder or D&D?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. For both, really. You definitely use it for both.
The base is. I like the base. There's a lot going on in the base. There's a lot of like depth there.
Yeah. The a couple of flowers sort of plotted around there. Right, yeah. Nice one. Dave Humble says, once you pull the pin out of a hand grenade, he is no longer your friend.
You want to get rid of him.
Only when you stop holding his hand.
Yep. Excellent. So yes, nice work there, Clive. Keep it up. Dan,
I know that.
When we said, do you want to do that you were going to be on the show, Dan posted this.
Oh, nice.
So I
He
think
did this. This Warhound was the one he did for the diorama, right?
I'm not sure. Well, I'm guessing with the notable entry there, but he entered it in Golden Demon. So
yeah, absolutely. He was so stoked when he came back. Are we pretending he doesn't exist anymore, or?
Well, we know he exists.
I live in a Dan Osborne-less world.
Got it. Okay.
It's a darker, grimmer world than the rest of us.
I never really circled back, but Dan was wonderful to have at the convention and work at the booth. And he didn't really work the booth; he did demos at the booth for us, and it was wonderful to have him there. And he's an amazing human being, and it was awesome to see him come down stoked from the cases and be like, "Look what I got!" Well deserved.
Yep, that's awesome. That's awesome. Get Off My Pop Tart has joined us and said, "Dirty Down is my favorite paint to use for weathering." Jack's 3D build.
You asked about a Space Marine cosplay. That's one of the guys I'll point you towards.
Nice.
Awesome. Very cool. So Dan posted that. Jason Turner has joined us as well. I think Jason was in the chat earlier. This was one of the Skulls minis, I think, from the Skulls promotion back in the day.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yep. So if you bought products from Games Workshop, you got Skull stickers, and if you got enough Skull stickers, you could collect them, or basically you can send them in, like proof of purchase.
There was so much cool shit that was part of the Skulls program.
Yep, definitely. Oh, there he is. He is back. But yeah, fantastic. Oh, John Steining's joining us, and it says, "Love that model." And Brett says that takes me back a ways. It sure does.
Before
That's,
my time.
that's turn of the century stuff.
Yeah.
I can say turn of the century now because it was.
Yeah, this model is from the late 1900s.
It is, yes.
Oh, no.
Fantastic. But looks great, Jason. Nice work. Jason also has painted up a this awesome Hulk.
Yeah, this is the Immortal Hulk. So this is Amadeus Cho. It's not Bruce Banner.
That's crazy vibrant. I love it.
Yeah, the green is super vibrant.
Yep. It's awesome. And again, that just pushes the focus right to that face, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excellent work there, Jason. Looks great. And Ghost Rider.
Nice.
Absolutely fantastic. And there's a bunch more photos of minis that Jason has worked on over the last few months. You can check those out on the Facebook group. Again, link below.
The second Ghost Rider cracks me up. There's so many like crazy scenes. Like every time he kills a guy on his bike, it's like roadkill. Like, there's the crazy like whispered like catchphrase line. You're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Just go full Nick Cage with it.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, it's the way to do it. But no, awesome. Thanks very much for sharing, Jason. They look great.
I like that.
Jeff Smith shared his T-shirt.
I need to trade T-shirts with you.
No problem.
Yeah, we definitely have to do that. For sure. But yeah, so Jeff's T-shirt arrived. Hopefully, he'll be wearing that on next week's episode of Tale of Four Warlords.
Probably.
Yeah, I think he will. He will. And sorry, Jeff is of course madly painting his his Wolf Spear models for next week. John Steining has been painting up some more his 15th century Italian army /
Oh man,
Empire for the Old World. And these are coming along really nicely.
I love the metal on the guys in the plate mail. It's such a it's such a subtle effect, but it looks awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it really gives that that sense of volume and shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sun glare.
Yeah. Looking brilliant. Looking awesome. Nice work, John. We're excited to see them all together at some point.
Again, his banners always look insane too.
Yeah. Yeah. They're looking great. There we go. Yeah, Jess says love to see it all together. But no. Beautiful work, John. Keep it up. Kelly's posted another awesome fantasy mini here.
Oh yeah, we saw the elf last week, but now there's the Dragonborn on the right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Did Kelly say where the model's from? That Dragonborn model?
I think he did. Hang on, I'll check.
Because I do have to say that is one of my favorite, my favorite Dragonborn models that I've seen to date.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Really liked all the cat models that one booth had.
Artisan Guild.
That was in Guild. Right. Check those out. But yeah, beautiful. And yeah, the flaming sword is awesome.
That looks good.
Everything's just brilliant. Excellent work. Thanks very much for sharing, Kelly. That was great.
Yeah.
Ken Hartnett.
Oh yeah.
Posted Farsight.
The new Farsight is so good.
Yeah, it really is.
I love how they really leaned into the Japanese aesthetic. Like he has the banner hanging off the not katana, and there's like cherry blossoms on the base. Like it's so good.
Cool. So, do the cherry blossoms come with Farsight, or is that?
I think. I don't know. I don't know if Ken did that. Hang on, let me check.
Tower my first army because when I picked up those boxes, I was like, these look easy to paint, and
you're like, oh my goodness, panel lining.
Yes, yeah, all day long.
Yeah, the cherry blossom behind him comes with the model.
Oh right, okay. So that's GW leaning into that aesthetic.
That's cool.
Wild, but
keep it going.
No, done an excellent job there, Ken. Looks great. And Get Off My Pop-Tart says, I don't paint minis, but these are phenomenal. Everything is
Anybody
looking
can
very
paint
cool.
minis.
Christian Simonson is taking a quick break from his Sons of Horus to get some sweet Skaven painted up.
If I played AOS, I would play Skaven.
Yeah,
It's so funny seeing this because that's like the original thank wall. The new thank wall like would fill the screen. He's huge.
Yep. And that's the original. What's the demon called?
Oh God.
Oh, I feel terrible.
Oh my God. What is he called? He was the first big one that they made. The
Vermin Lord.
Is it
Vermin Lord.
Vermin Lord. Yeah, Vermin Lord.
Yep. So yeah, the Vermin Lord's standing up there on top of the bell.
Yeah,
It's
and again,
fantastic.
the new one is the same size as like a greater demon.
Oh, is it the one with like the whip that's curling in a circle?
Yeah, you can make like I think he has like there's like 5 or 6 builds in that box.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You can make like the Vermin Lord Corruptor. You can make the Plague Vermin Lord. Like there's like a bunch of them.
Right. Sean says he's having PTSD after the game that he had against 292 or 262 Skaven. But yeah, beautiful work there, Christian.
I like the ghost Nurgling that's in the bell.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Does look awesome. Just chowing down on some warpstone.
Yeah.
But yeah, looks great. Excellent. And something that Christian posted last week, just before the show, he messed around doing a little bit of 2D art as well. So that's his own sort of grimdark artwork in the background.
Yeah, Christian stuff always lands just right for me. I really like his aesthetic. So
yeah, definitely a lot of fun. So I'm glad that so that's Stephen that we've got doing backdrops. We got Christian doing backdrops now.
Oh man,
pick up a few more folks who are going to do some sort of mess around with some backdrops. That'd be fantastic. But
I haven't dipped my toe into that. It looks so good.
Yeah. Definitely
like
cool.
This whole thing to me is like this could be a John Blanche illustration in the GW book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nice. Excellent. Okay, last week we showed Luis was sort of going back and stripping his Tor Garadon. Is that right?
Yep.
That's the name of the character. So the Imperial Fist guy in the big, massive Gravis armor. So he was unhappy with the sort of the way that his spray primer had worked. So he went back and used some techniques that he was used to from painting Gundams. And this is a super fine spray primer, like a airbrush primer. And as you can see, beautiful details, very crisp sort of edges there on that backpack.
Yeah, this looks less primed and more like it was made out of white plastic.
Yeah, it does.
It's really smooth.
Yep. Beautiful work there.
Half my World Eaters were that it makes like the whole mini look dusty with the old white primer.
Oh, yeah.
That can be it's very rare that you can sort of save that and turn it around for sure.
I just kept going with it. it's for heresy. There's texture just helps.
Sure. But some of the other pieces. So Luis has been going through and doing a bunch more fun stuff with that.
He said this is the first face that he's done.
Right. Does not look happy, right?
No, Tor Garadon looks pissed.
Yeah. He is.
Who's in my parking space? Like that's
not one step back.
Yep. He looks absolutely ready. And I love that little tilting shield. So great job there. So you can see the rest of Luis's project, sort of progress on the Facebook group. But yeah, looking really good. Very nice. Then we've got Matt Bowles. Matt Bowles modeling his BuildPaintPlay T-shirt.
Look at that. I mean, everybody just looks more handsome in our T-shirt. I don't know what it is.
I know. Well, it's the T-shirt.
It could be the
That's
T-shirt.
why I wear it.
Yeah, nice.
every week. It makes me look better. Sure. You just get to see the T-shirt and my goofy head. But also Matt's War Boss on Flying Squigosaur
Nice.
is coming along beautifully.
His whole army is all converted squigs that are flying.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yep.
Love it.
And yeah, this guy just looks great. I love that stippling that you got on the Squigosaur's body there, Matt. Some great texture, and of course
I like
the
his
base.
teeth. I like his teeth and his giant black nose like a puppy.
Really cool.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those teeth look so good.
Yep, looks fantastic.
So great.
Josh is suggesting that the Build Paint Play T-shirt gives +5 to charisma checks.
Oh, at least.
That's fair.
Nice.
That's fair.
Excellent. But looks awesome. Keep up the work on those Beast Snagger boys, Matt. Expecting to see it. Oh, it's supposed to look like clouds or sky. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the stippling on the body. I can see that.
Ooh. So when
No.
they look
Natural
up, they don't see them. Yeah.
Natural camo. There we go.
Awesome. And Cal says the T-shirts are so slimming.
It's the Black Company Sky Whales. Is that?
Nice.
I would think that orcs would want to paint all their squigs red so they're faster.
Hmm.
Well, what's blue? Blue is lucky.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's true. Yeah, blue's
An
lucky.
alternative purple.
Right. Excellent. Thanks very much, Matt. Moving on, we've got Mike Hughes. Mike does some brilliant painting. I would not be surprised if this was a piece of box art, but
Yeah, wow.
It was really cool that he got Joe Manganiello to pose for this.
Fantastic. It does look like him, doesn't it? But I wanted to sort of throw this, both the black background and the white background up so that folks can see how different the same model can appear and the way that different elements are affected by the background there. But yep.
I love the green. The green on the sword is just awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, the reflections of the ground.
It's so good.
Yeah. You just get that feel that you could be walking through some sort of glowing green cave. You just got that strange crystal glow going on.
He's
Yeah.
he's hunting Skaven in the Warpstone caverns.
Right. Be that.
It's definitely something you can get lost in.
Yep. But no, it looks brilliant, Mike. Absolutely awesome. And Cal says, now put a T-shirt on it.
I mean, I just sort of painted his chest so it looks like it says Build Paint Play, but
Play. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Is that a challenge to your listeners?
yeah, I
It
mean,
is.
if Mike was serious, that's what he would have done. But
Yeah, you'd totally do that. I'm sure. But no,
Be a
let's
serious painter one day.
awesome. I know we've got Rich Ralph in the chat. So these are some of Rich's first plastic miniatures, and I think you said you got
Chaos
these
boys.
from Alpha Omega Hobby, Jake.
yeah, he was in the store. We were talking about this the other day, and I was like, it kind of got me thinking about it. So, I mean, I play a ton of D&D, and there's
Yep.
really not any good hobgoblin models.
Okay.
So I was like, these would make great hobgoblins. Like
Oh yeah.
he gave you the little bit of the tell by like they have cut off gloves, so they all have
Right.
green hands because he painted these as like goblins or something.
Ah.
But I was like, man, they'd make great hobgoblins if you just like gave them a little bit of orange skin showing. You'd be like, oh man, like they're supposed to be big.
Right.
But yeah, these models they look fantastic.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of models in the group that are that have no helmets on, and they've got the
Yeah.
green skin. But yeah, no, they look great. And as oh, there we go. Rich is there, and Matt says, yeah, loving those boots. Rich, yeah, the that sort of weathered leather look is great too.
And
Exciting.
like the sort of like weathered like leather hides that are up on their shoulders and stuff too.
No, they look great. Excellent work, Rich. Very cool. Sean Gleason has been painting up some Legions Imperialis.
That is a whole lot of Contemptors.
It's
It
so
is.
tiny.
You're just far away. Mark.
Somebody made some really large GW paint pots.
Yep.
Well, like the best giveaway is the Iron Drake off on the right.
All right. Yep.
Like he's bigger than the Contemptors are.
Yes. But they look fantastic.
Yeah, these are great.
That's so cool.
I'm sure
Steve, I want to play.
A lot of fun painting these up. And yeah, Matt says you would not know the size with those paint pots. Yeah, the details on these and the sharp edges is really a great job by GW. But no, they look awesome, Sean. Very nice work.
Really cool.
Moving right along, we have Stephen Ryder. So Stephen went along to Advance 24 last weekend, which is in San Diego, if I remember correctly. And this Ogren, I think this is a Victoria Miniatures Ogren.
Yep.
Got him third place in the painting competition. So
very nice. It's very like takes it back to like Nork Dead Dog.
Right.
Like the named Ogren.
Yep. It's definitely got that feel. But no, it looks awesome. Great work, Steve. I love the those shoulder pads. Again, it's that sort of battered sort of leather kind of look. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice
and he's got his paint palette backdrop again.
Backdrop in there, yep. This is another photo from Stephen.
That's Ralpartha. That's a Ralpartha cleric. I forget what it's called, but yeah, the old models are so cool.
He's got Custodes thighs.
He does. Yeah.
It's like this is based off a Gerald Brom drawing.
I was going to say it's giving me strong Mad Max vibes.
Yeah. This is like this guy works for the Grand Humongous.
Yep.
Just walk away.
I'll spare your lives. But no, it just says, yeah, that's a classic. Yeah, this guy does definitely not skip leg day.
No.
But nice work, Stephen. Looks great. And this one here,
Lord Soth. Lord Soth is the best.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Some kid came into the store when we were talking about Lord Soth, and he's like, "Who's Lord Soth?" And I was like, he's D&D Darth Vader."
Nice, awesome. I think I found a Lord Soth and the Knights box at a show. Oh, when was it? Actually, it might have been an Adepticon, like just before COVID. It's like somebody was a bit seller was selling, so I grabbed it for Rick. So our buddy Rick Ankney has this guy now. Not this particular one, but
this one is so good. Yeah, the Lord Soth and the Knights. I think he's mounted with he's got that mace.
Yeah.
Because I think they made 3 Soth figures. There's the first one that he has his giant bastard sword in one hand, which is not bad, but because it's metal, it like his hand looks really weird, and the sword is too big. There's this one, which I think is the best one, and then there's the mounted one, which is the mounted one's pretty cool, also.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. Cal says the model is so small since it was a true 25 mil back in the day.
Yeah, he's teeny.
Yep. Yeah, Sean, that's what it was called. Lord Pride was the name of the box set.
Mark, you all right?
Yeah, my dog has decided this is a great time to try and get in my lap, and is tangled in some cords.
No.
Come here, Kurt.
There we go. That's 2 weeks in a row that I guess dog has joined us.
No.
The last piece here is a piece that Trevor posted. There we go.
Nice.
Sorry, Trevor. We're gonna have to just switch to. Oh no, too slow. I didn't catch the dog.
Missed it.
But
Man,
yeah, so this is a piece
awesome.
that Trevor posted in the again as a comment when we said that Mark was going to be on. But,
I like all the little like Easter egg details, like all the little mushrooms.
Yeah.
like underneath, like growing up, and then like the different tones he has, like on the skin, like the puckering around the teeth and stuff.
Yeah, looks fantastic. And of course, on the all of that rust on the blade and the armor plates, that's dirty down.
Wow.
Dirty down rust effects.
Oh, that like pustule growth. Oh, everything kind of spun. That pustule growth along the ground. It's like that mucusy fungus looks so nasty.
It does, doesn't it? You just know that that's going to be pulsing.
Yeah.
And not evenly either. It's going to be disgustingly pulsing.
Yep. So I'm not going to like it.
But yeah, absolutely beautiful. Awesome work, Trevor. I think it was
dude, that's so gross. I love it.
Yeah. But no, beautiful. Yes, we do all need some serious sterilizing. Hopefully everybody's had their tetanus shot and they're not going to walk away with lockjaw from this show. But beautiful work. So that's it. That's the end of the minis from the Facebook group, which is Build Paint Play Community. As I said, for link down below. A whole bunch of links down there. Go and check those out. Lots of cool stuff. Mark's website. Mark, there we go. Point that direction.
Yeah.
Mark's website. Mark's Instagram is there. So you can check out Goblins on Instagram. And yeah, so I'm trying to think, was there anything else that I needed to talk about at the end of the show, Jake?
I don't think so.
We need to say thank you to our sponsor over there.
Yeah, a huge thank you to our friends here at the Army Painter. We appreciate them. We appreciate them backing us. We will hopefully have some news about some upcoming shows in the coming weeks, about things we got coming up this summer. Yep. I'll be hammering out some details this week, so hopefully we'll be able to give a little more information on that. Next week we'll have Jeff and John on.
Yep.
For Tale of Four Warlords.
Nice.
The finale, so we'll have photos of all of our painted armies, fully painted armies. Yes.
I might have to go in and do some. I might have to go in and do some creative editing to make sure that all my stuff looks painted.
Fantastic.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Mark, thank you so much again for being here, man. It was super cool to talk to you and hear about all this stuff. And I will definitely have this stuff in my store soon.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. It's been a wonderful journey, and I look forward to you guys being a part of it moving forward.
Excellent. When we do close out the show, we'll do the same thing as we did with the intro. If you just hang out in the studio there for a little bit, and then we'll come on and Jake will grill you with questions.
Sure. Guys, thank you so much. Yeah, Matt said the same thing before I can even get to it. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe to the video. It helps drive all the metrics and stuff. And if you're listening to us on SoundCloud or Spotify or iHeartRadio or whatever, if you guys get a chance, we would love to have you guys join our community. Just sign up on YouTube and just log in and like and subscribe. It just helps us kind of show that people are actually listening. If anybody needs anything, obviously you guys know how to reach out and find Dave and I. You can message in the group, and make sure you share your projects you're working on. We'll show more of those next week. Thank you again so much, and as always, do not forget to build, paint,
play.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Shut up and sit down.